Mike's on.
All right, Yanks in Baltimore tonight. Mets against the Cubbies. The game one of the NBA Finals comes your way this evening. We'll hope for the best in that regard. Maybe we'll get lucky and be a little better than we could hope for. Evan in Massapequa. What's up, Evan?
Hi, Mike. Thanks for taking my call.
Yep.
I just want to make a quick point about LeBron James. I'm going to hang up and let you talk. So LeBron has to be the most durable athlete in the history of not just basketball, but all professional sports, I think. I mean, for the past 15 years, we've seen this guy brush off injuries time and time again. Now, here's just three small examples. Most recently, May 19th, 2018, LeBron rolls his ankle against the Celtics, ties his shoelaces up tighter, and goes on to score another 27 points. June 19th, 2012, LeBron gets severe leg cramps in the fourth quarter, plays through them, hits the game-winning three-pointer. Last but not least,
Mike in Montclair. What's up, Mike?
Hey, how you doing, Mike? Welcome back. You know, us retirees need our entertainment, so I'm glad you're back.
Well, thank you. What's happening?
But in any case, you know, these ridiculous trades that are being proposed by Yankee fans for Jacob DeGrom, you know, like Clint Frazier, Tyler Austin, and a bag of balls for an all-star. It reminds me, you and I are the same age. If you remember, in '77, the Mets said, hey, look who we got for Seaver. Doug Flynn, Dan Norman, Pat Zachary, Steve Henderson. Wow, they all have potential, but none of them ever proved anything.
No, listen, those trades don't work, but listen, that's a very different situation. But the odds on them making a trade between the two teams
are zero.
is
but if you want an all-star, give us an all-star in return.
Well,
that's what I would say.
Well, listen, you want to build a team, you can take prospects. I mean, but it's very hard. You see, you want to get a guy that you can. The problem is a lot of times the team giving up the star does not recoup a star. They might recoup pieces. They don't recoup a star. There are times when it has worked. I mean, there was a trade that the Mariners made with Montreal, and in that trade went Randy Johnson, Billy Swift, and another pretty good pitcher. And Langston never won a game for Montreal. I think he might have won one. He might have won 1-7 for them down the stretch of that year. So there are times when things go that way, but for the most part, the team usually trading the star does not recoup a star. If you're the Mets, you have to give your fan base something where if you were going to get to that point where you were dire enough that you were trading DeGrom, you would be in a position where you would say, I have to recoup something which placates my fan base. Your fan base has already seen and heard plenty about the future of Torres. How could you not be considered strong in your trade ability if you did not bring back a player who was obtained by the Yankees in a trade by trading a star reliever? Now the Mets would be trading a star starter. Why would they not expect to get a player of that ilk back? They would. That's why that trade would go nowhere. Adam in Bayonne, what's up, Adam?
Hey, Mike, what's up? How you doing?
What's happening?
Question: What are your thoughts on the Mets outfield when Cespedes comes back? Seems like they've got 5 outfielders. I never want to see Jay Bruce again. I don't think he's any good, but I think Nimmo, Conforto, and even Bautista out there with Cespedes are a good 4 rotation.
Well, now you're telling me you want to ban Jay Bruce to the bench?
I don't want to ban him. I just don't think that he's proved this year to be better than Nimmo or give us a better opportunity than Nimmo, Conforto, or, like I said, even Bautista last week. Jay Bruce has done nothing. He has 2 home runs.
Well, what has Conforto done this year?
Okay, so that's why I'm asking you. So what would you
my
do?
point is you leave him alone and let him play because unless you feel he's injured.
You're going to sit Nimmo or
none of those players, not one of those players other than Cespedes, has ever done in a baseball uniform what Jay Bruce has done as recently as last year. Last year, Jay Bruce had 36 home runs and knocked in 101 runs.
You wouldn't rather see the potential of what Nimmo's doing right now.
Do I think Nimmo's going to be? Listen, Nimmo deserves to play because they need a leadoff hitter, and he can be the leadoff hitter. You would put, I would put Bruce at first base, but I have to play Bruce because if I don't play Bruce, I'm never getting this offense up to a level. The only way I get this offense up to any level where I can live with it day in and day out is to have Cespedes and Conforto and Bruce firing on all cylinders. Now, unless you have, well, listen, here's Bautista, who right now is swinging the bat well, but you're telling me you've seen enough from Batista, who was just cut by a team, was let go by one team, cut by another team. Jay Bruce last year hit 36 home runs, and you're telling me that he's no good and he's done, but you're willing to take a shot on Batista?
Just because of what I'm seeing, I wouldn't.
Well, you're going on what, 3 at bats?
He's only.
You're going
he's only 2 years removed from 30-something home runs.
He got cut this year. He already got cut by a team.
I'm not telling you he's going to win the MVP.
Well, the point is, though,
I'm saying he looks pretty good right now.
Why are you giving up on Bruce right now? You're giving up on him. He's 31 years old. He hit 36 homers last year.
In 2 months, he's done nothing.
So either is Conforto.
So sit Conforto then.
Well, I wouldn't, because I need Conforto. See, you're basing everything on what the guy did yesterday. I'm playing the guys who hit yesterday. That's your theory. I'm playing the guys who hit yesterday. I'm not worried about the guys who didn't hit last week.
300 home runs in his career. What do you mean yesterday?
What are you talking about? I'm talking about Nimmo, okay? Nimmo, you think Nimmo's as good as Jay Bruce?
You just said a good point. He's
listen, Batista is a guy, if I got a good month out of Batista, I'd be happy. Do I think Batista's going to find a fountain and hit 54 homers? No. I don't expect that. I got a commitment to Bruce here. I can't treat him like that. First of all, I'm devaluing my own player. You're giving up on... That's like saying the Yankees should give up on Stanton because he hasn't hit in a couple of weeks. Or the Yankees should bench Didi because he went 4 for 70. You can't treat players like that. Guys go into slumps. Guys get off the bad starts. It happens all the time. You can't give up on the player unless you think there's a reason physically for the problem. The guy's A, done, and Bruce isn't done, he's 31, or B, he's hurt. If he's not either of the above, you play the guys. You play the guys that you built the team around. Now, you want to say to Bruce, listen, I'm cutting your at-bats against left-handers, I'm going to play Batista until I see you hit more. That's fair. I have no problem with that. That's okay. Earn your bats. Run a meritocracy. I have no problem with that at all. But you can't say, oh, I'm going with Batista because I like his, he's hit 3 line drives this week. I'm not going with Bruce because he hasn't hit a home run in a month. You can't treat your team that way. Don in Jersey, what's up, Don?
Yeah, Mike, it's a Yankee comment from a Mets fan, but I will say this. I'm not giving up on Bruce, nor am I giving up on the Mets this year. We're still in contention with 109 games to go. Give it a little time. But I've got to say this about Gardner. To me... Gardner
or Gardner?
Gardner.
Gardner, okay.
Did I say Gardner or Gardner? He is the glue. If he was out for 2 months, the Yankees would be hurt. He is the glue in the heart of the Yankees, almost like a modern-day Billy Martin. Every time, I don't care if he's batting 190. The count is always 3-1, and he's always lining the ball in the right field or down the left field line. The Yankees would really be hurt with all their power if he was had any extended period of time on the DL, which he never does. But I had to say that, and you might not agree because Yankee fans might not think that way, but I sure do. I wish he was on the Mets.
No, I think he's been a good player for the Yankees. I think he's a guy who's a hustler. I think he's a guy who is good in the clubhouse. Do I think he's their most important player? No, he's not. There are more gifted players now, and his future might be limited, but that's the way it goes. I mean, it happens to everybody. He might be reaching the end of the line with the Yankees, but he's still able to contribute, and he gets a lot of big hits for the Yankees. He always has gotten a lot of big hits for the Yankees. Tommy in Brooklyn, what's up, Tommy?
Hey, what's up, Mike? These hypothetical trades that people calling in are starting to make me nuts, and what you just said about the trading a star and getting one in return, you might get that every once in a while, like you referenced with Randy Johnson, or the year that the Mets they took Dickey off the scrap heap and they got Syndergaard in that trade, even though Darno was the main piece. But if you were to trade DeGrom or Syndergaard, you're not going to get the fair value back. I mean, Syndergaard, you could say this guy, if he stays healthy, could be on the team till 2030. So, I mean, I always look back at that as a trade when the Mets got Santana from the Twins. I mean, who'd they give up? They gave up Carlos Gomez, who turned into a serviceable outfield that had a couple of good years. You're never going to get fair value in return. So it just drives me crazy with all of these hypothetical trades, even if it's not to the Yankees and it's to another team.
You base it on whether or not, first of all, there's a lot of reasons. Number one, the relationship does not really set them up for trades. They don't get along. They don't make trades. They haven't made a substantial trade in about 14 years. It doesn't happen. That's number one. Number two, the idea of trading a star pitcher, the Mets are going to have to justify that trade to their fan base. The way they do that is to bring back something that the Met fan thinks is of enormous value to the Yankees. That's the only way it works. Otherwise, it doesn't work for them. That's why you have to bring something back. Now, if you could start a trade for DeGrom, if the Mets were out of it and they decided, you know what, we're going to go in a different direction, we're going to start to rebuild a little bit, and you could decide that you could get someone like Torres to build your team around, you know what? You might make that trade for the right value. But the Yankees wouldn't give him up, I'm sure. So they would end the trade talk, and rightfully so, because that's why it's difficult for those two teams to make a trade. If I were the Mets, I'd want Torres back in the trade. Otherwise, I wouldn't make the trade. The best businesses are always improving. That's why Spectrum Business is doubling their starting internet speeds from 100 up to 200 megabits per second without increasing the price. Now, business in New York City can get Spectrum Business internet with speeds starting at 200 megabits per second and prices still starting at $44.99 per month. That's the speed other providers can't beat at a price they can't match, which means you'll get faster internet so you can accomplish more every day, and you'll have more bandwidth to power everything that is connected to your network, and you'll save money. So take advantage of this opportunity to improve your business. Call 866-750-9726 and switch to Spectrum Business today. You'll get speeds up to 200 megabits per second, still for $44.99 per month. That's 866-750-9726. Security Dodge in Amity Village, your number 5 dealer in the USA. They're working to get to number 1, so they're taking in all deals. Jeep celebration events going on. Yes, Security Dodge is taking all deals to get to number 1. Shop the website 24/7 for some of the just released lowest prices and payments. Security Dodge is Long Island's Ram and Wrangler headquarters. Go on down and see what's going on. You can get a new 2017 Jeep Wrangler and be entered in a contest to win a complimentary set of rims and tires. Visit Security Dodge, securitydodge.com. Okay, tomorrow, a busy show. We'll take you towards a June weekend, believe it or not. We'll start to move closer towards that Yankee-Mets series, which will be a week away. And we will be ready for a scene shift in the NHL, and we'll have something to chat about in terms of Game 1 in the NBA Finals, which comes your way this evening. But right now, Yankee baseball is next.